is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, here we go. Week 2 in the books.
Not good.
How are your fantasy teams?
I think
looking
honestly,
right
my
now?
teams didn't do bad. It's just the other teams
Yeah.
just happened to explode. I mean that's. I had some
went
pretty good
bombastic
games,
on
but
you.
I mean, when the other teams are dropping insane numbers, I mean, it's really kind of hard to judge. But I mean, overall, yeah, the week was not good.
Yeah, it was about a 50-50, but I have a gajillion teams. It's funny, I'm looking at my teams, and almost 3/4 of them, if not more, the game is already decided. And as we always tell you guys, we record this prior to the Sunday night game. So I get to enjoy the last 3 games. Yes, remember that, everybody. If you listen to this before Monday night, there are still 2 games Monday night. We have the Bucks and the Texans early, and then the Chargers and the Raiders late at night. Before we get into the day here, we got some fun things going on, but I want to ask you something. Well, first I want to issue an apology to everybody. I told you I said on the phone I was going to do this. Evan Ingram. I've been touting Evan Ingram all off season. I believe that Evan Ingram doesn't play football anymore, based upon the Adam Troutman sightings, the Luke Kroll sightings, and the fact that I
think so.
I haven't pulled up a stat. Was his final stat line 0? Last time I saw it was at 0. It was 0. So, Sean Payton, I love you, brother. You're full of crap. I do wish I should adjust my Super Bowl pick to make it the Indianapolis Colts, just because Daniel Jones is on freaking fire. I do have him in a league, ironically. Everybody laughed. Why are you taking him? Because they're going to make the playoffs. I said it before. But as I got 2 questions. I did 2 trades this week, and I wanted your opinion, because one of them hasn't processed because of the slow waivers through the fantasy turf war, and the other one came out about square for now, but it hurt really bad. So in the fantasy turf war, I have a ton of running backs. My receivers are only 2 deep. You need 3 receivers. My third receiver is like Diggs, so it's like a hodgepodge. But I have ETN, who is going bonkers on my bench. Traded Travis Etienne for Marvin Harrison Jr.
I like that. I mean, I think it's pretty square. I mean, you got ETN for.
It's about square, right?
He's running back what 2 years maybe, and ETN's kind of been all over the place.
But it's only fantasy turf war, so it's only redraft. The next one's dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you're strong at running back, I mean, that's the key. As long as you're.
Yeah. Well, except for this week.
Except
for this week, because I have Derrick Henry.
What happened there, but yeah, I mean, as long as you're happy with your running backs, because I mean, the way ETN's been playing, it's been kind of hard to give up on, that production, especially in redraft. The way running backs can just get injured and then they're just gone for the year and just not the same or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. Harrison. I mean, I love Harrison. So, yeah.
He gets targeted like no tomorrow. I mean, he wasn't, and it worked out because it doesn't process. It's got like a 3-day waiting period, so it didn't process. So I was like, sweet. It didn't affect me. I still projected to win on that team. Like, running backs are Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, Jahmyr Gibbs, and that one. So Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, Jahmyr Gibbs. So I'm pretty solid at running back. Aaron Jones is my backup running back with Dobbins and Braylon Allen. So that made him fairly expendable to go with my receiving core of DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, who pooped the bed today, Keenan Allen's, who I'm starting this week, and Stephon Diggs. So it added on. And I got Quentin Johnson.
That one,
Let's see what he
I think
does.
that's Quentin Johnson could be
old stone hands, as we call him.
He's going to be one of these guys like week 2 that just kind of disappeared, kind of like a lot of people. Like a lot of people kind of did.
The gridiron god is Susan.
Week 1 explode, and then week 2 they suck.
There's a couple of those. Speaking of which, Gridiron God has got me on board with Booty, and I was like, sweet Booty, he's playing the Dolphins, and I was like, he got a touchdown. He was just ho-hum, but he has been one of their most targeted players, Drake May's most targeted players. So, sorry guys, my camera decided to move on me. But yes, I picked him up, and I'm in love with. I'm gonna see what the Booty does. So we'll see how we go. But here's the other trade. This is a dynasty trade. So as always in here, guys, we do dynasty. JJ Wang's focus mainly is dynasty. I got a bunch of redraft dynasty in season. Everything's redraft as far as I'm concerned. My running backs are Tracy, R.J. Harvey, Ramondre, Mixon, Najee. And my receivers are studs. So we're looking like Puka, Justin Jefferson, Tyree. I forget, but it's a whole bunch of, like, I got a plethora of receivers. So I traded Justin Jefferson. And I got Brees Hall and JSN.
Well, I mean, it
Yeah.
just kind of, I guess, honestly, it just kind of depends on,
It's fairly.
Brees Hall. Is you going to get the Brees Hall more of last week, or are you going to get the Brees Hall more of this week? But again, that's fantasy. I mean, that's the risk you take when you do this kind of stuff. I mean, you think it's best for your team. I mean, I'm sure that other guy would love that. Like, obviously, wants to have Justin Jefferson. He feels completely different. Like I said, team based. I love JSN. I love Brees Hall. But I mean, is this the kind of stuff you're going to be dealing with Brees Hall all year, where one week he's good and next week he's bad, and you're just kind of teetering on the verge of, do I want to start this guy because I need this win, but Brees Hall is unreliable, and then JSN can Sam Darnold make him like that top 12 guy, or is he just going to be? Yeah. I
He
love
got
JSN,
20 points this
but like I
week,
said,
so
is
he
the
did his job.
consistency for Justin Jefferson is going to be there. I mean, you're confident that he's going to be your guy every week, and then it's just like JSN and Brees Hall. I don't think you can be confident that they're going to be, the guy every week, but you're taking a risk that they can be. So I mean, like I said, fantasy, that's the risk. That's the kind of risk you got to take.
Yeah, I'm confident. My thought in the trade, honestly, was I'm confident JSN, to me, is going to be. I think he's going to be a top 7, if not higher, receiver in these upcoming years. And I mean, the dude balled out 8 for 103 on 10 targets today. So and to get that, even if I don't get Justin Jefferson numbers, I mean, Jefferson, he's going to get that stat line. He's going to get 100 yards, and then every now and then he'll get 3 touchdowns, and that's going to be really the difference. But Brees Hall is just basically throwing the chips in, seeing if he'll get me somewhere. So it was kind of a painful thing to have to do. But yeah, so it was a week. It was quite a week. Couple teams decided not to show up. The Jets.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Justin Fields, you worried?
I mean,
He got
the
benched.
thing about Justin
He had what,
Fields is
13
going
yards
back
ahead
to
a
the
second.
reliability
He had
factor. And you rely on him every week to be your quarterback. If you're going into every week, obviously, I don't know if you can put him as your QB1 at this point. I mean, as a QB2, can you afford to have these 5-point games, these 2-point games? And this was the Justin Fields that we've seen over the last 5 years. We was hoping it was going to be a little better. I mean, of course, that's what you always hope for, but you got to look at this thing realistically and not with your heart. I mean, you want him to be really good, but obviously at some point you got to realize this is probably the player Justin Fields is. He can give you 30 points one week, but the next 2 weeks are going to be 5 and 10. I mean, do you want to start that? I mean, at this point, it's hard to. As a QB2, do you want to start that? That's. And I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I really can really afford, Justin Fields back. Is the ceiling really worth it? That's what you gotta ask yourself.
I mean, he got benched for Tyrod Taylor. This is like echoes of Pittsburgh. Final stat line, in case anybody missed it: 3 of 11 for 27 yards, and he rushed 5 times for 49 yards. But
Yeah, that's
2 fumbles with 1 loss. So
yeah.
the fumbles are what get you done in, especially when you're on a team that's bad.
Aaron
They're not
Glenn
going to tolerate it. They're
just
going to
cut a player last week because he fumbled the football. So this is kind of like what Jimmy Johnson used to do back in the day. I don't mind it. If you can't, the main thing about football is you got to be able to hold on to the football. If you can't hold on to the football, then you can't be on the field. And Aaron Glenn proved, Aaron Glenn
remember
proved
the movie
last
The
week.
Program.
Look, hold on to the ball, or you're going to be replaced. And Justin Fields is going to learn to hold on to the ball. Yeah.
Do you remember the movie The Program, where that guy fumbled the ball and they went through school and he had to carry the ball everywhere he went? On the worry meter of 1 to 10, the Bengals are without Joe Burrow, but Browning brought them back. They have weapons all around. Can Jake Browning at least have them go 500 over the next 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks.
I mean, without looking at the schedule, I mean, I don't know what their I don't know what the schedule is. I mean, it's
I cut
Jake
out
Browning.
pauses. I got you. You ready? Ooh, this isn't good. It isn't good. Vikings, loss. Broncos, loss. Lions, loss. Packers,
Well, I
loss.
can't.
Steelers,
But I mean,
maybe.
I can't
Jets,
necessarily say the Broncos is
win.
going to be a loss because I mean,
Bears.
it's not like they're undefeated. I mean, they lost today.
I'm going
Well,
with the
yeah,
defense, not
okay.
the. I'm not. I'm
You're
not going
going
with
with
my
defense.
love
What
of
their defense
Bo
do
Nix. I'm going with
today?
like that. Hey, all I can say is the Colts
I
are
understand. I get it.
murderers.
I
I
mean,
mean,
the Colts look
they've put
good,
up the numbers.
but
So,
if the
yeah,
I mean, but it's
but
also
it's Jake
it was
Browning.
Daniel Jones.
They're
I
still
mean,
going
this
Jake
is
Browning.
what we was thinking about Daniel Jones too. I mean, Jake Browning did okay. I mean, he brought him back. So I mean, obviously he's got talent. So I think he can. I mean, I think he can go 500. I mean, do I think they can beat the Broncos? Sure. I mean, Indianapolis beat the Broncos, and and the Bengals have a lot of have a bunch of talent on that offense. So I mean, I think they could beat. I mean, I think they could
Talent.
beat the I mean, the Vikings is kind of a toss up too. So yeah, I think they can. I think they can go 500.
Because I know you're not going to talk about him. Is Daniel Jones now a viable QB1? Do you start? Are we at that point? I mean, the dude is doing nothing but putting up points. He this week 23 of 34, 316, a touchdown, and then he ran for another touchdown. Is he a startable? Is he a QB1 in a single quarterback league? I mean,
I
you're
mean,
starting in
I
two
mean,
QB leagues now, but
are
QB in
you
a single.
willing to bench all these other guys that you thought were going to be QB1s? I mean, if that's the case, then if you want to take a shot on Daniel, if you're going to take,
I mean, you're start Daniels.
I mean, would
Yeah,
you rather
Daniels
start
hurts.
Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels or
No, Jaden Daniels. So as I was trying to think in my head, Daniels hurts.
yeah, Patrick? I mean,
Lamar.
Patrick Mahomes.
You
You
got
gonna
Josh
start him over Patrick
Allen.
Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes. Except for that last
I mean, are
pass
you
today
brave?
when
I
he threw
mean,
the bomb
are
down
we?
the field. It's let's see,
Oh, I agree.
Pat
I
Mahomes
agree.
only had 187 yards, touchdown, interception. He ran, so they're probably close. That's funny. Pat Mahomes is close to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, are you going?
It might be a streaming possibility of playing at a QB1.
I mean, you're starting him
He's
over
probably your
like
highest
Kyler
streamer.
Murray, or are you going to start him over Jared Goff? I mean, Jared Goff had one absolutely bonkers today. He had a bad
With the
week last
running,
week,
with the
but that
legs,
the Lions
Tyler.
offense is crazy. And if the Lions offense is going to be playing like, obviously they're not going to be playing like this every week. But I think they'll kind of be somewhere in the middle.
The Bears
I
every
mean, are
week.
you going to start Daniel Jones over Jared Goff? But Jared Goff is a little more reliable. I mean, we're look, we're talking about we're talking about Daniel Jones here. Before,
Of course,
I
yeah.
understand. I get it. It's been two
We
games.
are.
It's
We're
been
talking
two
about Daniel
games.
Jones.
He's been really, really good. Are those two games worth a career of being one of a worth being a quarterback that's been nothing but riddled, especially over the last year or so? At one point last year, he was traded and wasn't even a starting QB. So I mean, yeah, he's been great 2 games, but are those 2 games good enough to look past a career that has been suboptimal? Yeah,
It's considered because this. I think both Goff and Jones have a high ceiling, but a 5 touchdown
he's
game.
great.
How many times has
True,
Goff
but
done
how
that?
many
He only
times
played
has
the
Daniel
Bears
Jones
twice a
done
year,
this in his
so
career?
let's see
That's
how it
all I'm
goes
saying.
in.
Yeah, I would like to be able to trust Daniel Jones and put him in there. But it's 2 games. It's Daniel Jones. He was a laughing stock before the season started. Nobody had there's not too many people that can say they thought Daniel Jones was going to be a top 10 quarterback. Well, you might have had him in the playoffs, but
Some people had him in the
you
playoffs.
didn't have
Just
him as a
saying,
top 10 quarterback. I mean,
because I'm an idiot.
that's all I'm saying.
No, he was like
That's
quarterback.
all I'm saying.
So fun news as we're getting here before we get into the main discussion session that JJ Wang's going to lead here. We have some sponsors going on, hooking up the Fantasy Couriers, making us look like a real podcast. I mean, like a not real podcast. So our first sponsor is Fast Draft. Check out the Fast Draft app for real live quick drafts. It's done on a weekly DFS basis now. It's best ball in the offseason. If you sign on there, use the code Couriers, you'll get matched up to $50. It's a smaller upstart. You can be there as this company is getting their start. There's only a couple contests running a week. Be part of the Fast Draft. Jump in there. Use the code Couriers. Hit us up. Anybody that joins Fast Draft, pop us a quick email, fantasycouriers@gmail.com. We'll put your name into a drawing, and we'll give you a guest spot here on the Couriers Show. Plus, might send you some stickers you can put in your water bottles to make them look nice and fancy. And maybe one day we'll have some swag. So before we get going, I got something fun for you, JJ Wang. For real or faux real? So if y'all didn't know, guys, I lost all of my drops. My hard drive crashed in the offseason. So I just
did a good job, man.
Today. I got two fun ones for you.
So we'll do
JJ
just
Wang,
for real
show's all
for
yours.
one more time before we kind of transition to something else. After the first 2 weeks, you've got players with good games. You got players with a bad game, or a player with two really good games. After you get past that second week, I think you can kind of start settling into kind of what they might be. We mentioned Justin Fields a little earlier, so we won't dive into him. I mean, we all realize what's going on there. But the guy that I want to talk about, this was on Thursday night. I'm going to speak on Jordan Love. Of course, the Packers are playing out of this world right now. They look like probably the best. Would you say the best team in the NFL at the moment? So we'll speak of Jordan Love.
Solid.
Jordan Love had really two really good games. Currently, if you're looking at the numbers, he's right around like that top 5 quarterback in the league. So my question to you, with Jordan Love is, has Jordan Love finally reached the potential of being a top 5 option going? Well, I guess you could say going forward. Is that for real or faux real?
Top 5, I don't think so, because there's really not that running. I think what he did for us is he is erasing last year. Last year, we were all about Jordan Love, and then he just didn't live up to expectations. He was sent so high. This year, he is falling into a spectacular situation. Still has all of his wide receiver twos. A team of nothing but wide receiver twos. Everybody will be on the look because broken collarbone for Jaden Reed, which actually is a blessing for him. I'll be curious to see if he does something with his foot while he's on the broken collarbone IR. The name I've heard to keep an eye on actually is Savion Williams, who might slide into his role. So just keep an eye on that name because no one's worth starting except for Tucker Kraft, who went bonkers. So as long as he's passing to Tucker Kraft 97% of the time, I think he's a QB. He's in that range of those QB1s, though, because the defense. That was something I was going to ask you earlier, and I forgot about. The defense is murderer's row. And the question is this a defense that if there's a guy that you're questionable about, are you setting them that I'll follow? But not top 5, but still, he's a startable top 12, I would say.
So let's stay with the Pack. I mean, I kind of agree with you, too. I don't think he can be a top 5 guy, but I mean, he could have one of those seasons. I mean, not too long ago, Kirk Cousins was like number 6 quarterback. I don't want to compare him to Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow really doesn't run at all, and he's considered a top 5, quarterback. So we'll see. I mean, he might have some top 5 weeks, but overall, will he be a top 5? I mean, who knows? But it's like you said, at least he's kind of eliminating the sourness that he kind of put forth last week. He got a good bounce back. So since we're already on the Packers, let's stay with the Packers, and let's speak on Tucker Kraft real quick. Guy has been absolutely killing it so far through the first 2 weeks. Obviously, the best tight end in the NFL. Tucker Kraft is tight end 1 on the season, for real or faux real?
Hey, he's for real because tight ends aren't deep. I mean, really, his first week, if he didn't get the touchdown, he had 4 catches for 16 yards. So nothing spectacular. This week, he had 7 targets, 6 catches. Oh, sorry. First week was 2 catches for 16 yards. This week he had 6 catches for 124 yards. He looked like Jordan Love's first read, second read, and then he might have thrown it to Jake Reed, but he got hurt. So, dad jokes all day. But I think that a good quarterback to stay up in there, you'll notice those greats of the last handful of years have that tight end they can rely on. And I think Tucker Kraft's into that. Tucker Kraft is in the talk with the plummet of Mark Andrews. He's doing it again. So just wait 4 weeks, everybody. The invisibility of Evan Ingram, and you're looking up there. I mean, there's basically 2 boss hogs. It's McBride and Bowers, and then everybody else. Tucker Kraft looks like right now, he's right there with the bosses. I was thinking about it earlier. Is McBride number 1? I think so. Tucker Kraft could make an argument if he keeps balling out. If he gets a touchdown every week, yeah, he makes the argument. But he's got 2 touchdowns 2 weeks. The yardage this week, he had a Jag tight end, that lucky touchdown that he had last week. So I'm going to say for real because of the depth, because you can have a boom week. I mean, yeah, there's a guy you're going to talk about later that I think might be I'm a little more confident in, believe it or not.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
based
I think,
upon targets, because
and like I
targets to
said,
me
with
is the magic
tight
number.
ends the way they are, I think it's very, very possible he's QB1 or tight end 1. I mean, will he, going into next year, so say Tucker Kraft finishes tight end 1. So going into next year, would you take Tucker Kraft over a Brock Bowers? Would you take him over a Trey McBride? I mean, these guys they're not, the age isn't much difference, right? So you've got 1 year, Bowers has 1 year as, tight end 1. Tucker Kraft has 1 year as tight end 1. What makes Brock Bowers so much more special than Tucker Kraft, right?
Yeah, you got a point there. I think
Oh yeah. I mean,
next week we'll see what happens. See where he bounces. See where he bounces. Yeah. That's a good point. Like, I think for me, I was watching the thing. I was like, I believe Brock Bowers is the second best tight end in football, because I think he's going to have that second year thing. And Trey McBride, I think, has taken that step. So Trey McBride has these next 5 years where he's going to be right there. Will Brock Bowers take that step? Well, who's going to take that step to be with him? Because Kelsey had the end of Gronk. They all he had Andrews. There's always 2 or 3 guys that are just for about 5 years the guys.
I mean, you also got to look at
he's
Trey
making a
McBride. It
statement.
wasn't
He
like
could
Trey
be the
McBride
guy.
was a world killer his first year or 2 in the league, correct? I mean, it's taking him a while to kick in.
Oh no,
so,
he was quiet.
I mean, it's just like Tucker Kraft. I mean, he wasn't a world beater. It's taking him a little. Sometimes it takes a little while for these guys to make a mark. So yeah, I mean, if Tucker Kraft ends up as tight end 1 at the end of the year, just saying. I know it's only week 2. I'm just getting crazy. I get it. I understand. But I mean, the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, I think he would
at this
definitely
point,
be in the
totally
running
possible.
as tight end 1 off the board next year.
I mean, all he's got to do is get 60 yards a week for the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
A touchdown every other
With the
week.
lack of
that could
receiving
be tight end 1.
options. Now, let's
in the
say
game.
the Packers were to get like a big time receiver, that might hurt. That might hurt his stock a little bit. And at some point, they're probably going to have to get a big time.
Well, it won't happen because Jalen Polk was traded to the Saints. So the best receiver in the market was traded. They gave a 7th, and I think they got a 6th back or something
So
like that.
let's switch
kinda
over to
funny
running back.
how
And like I said,
popular he
this is a
was.
guy that's surprising me. I didn't think it was going to work out this way. Especially, I mean, like I said, through the first 2 weeks, I'm pretty astonished. I mean, that's Javonte Williams.
My boy.
RB3 last week. Of course, didn't take much to be RB3 last week. It wasn't the greatest of weeks. He had a much better week this week. He had almost cracked 100 yards rushing, 5.5 yards to carry, and a touchdown. The 6 receptions for 33 yards. I mean, that's catches, correct? RB4 this week. For real or faux real, Javonte Williams, a top 12 running back for the year.
I think it's for real. The Cowboys apparently their Cowboys defense is crap. We're learning that, but their offense, like I picked them up everywhere, and the Giants just whatever. The Malik Neighbors steamrolled. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson at 142 yards. Holy crap! I don't know how I missed that when I was scanning across the games, because every time I looked up, it was Neighbors. But that Cowboys offense is going to be great, and you can't put a bunch of guys in the box because you have CeeDee Lamb. On the other side, you got George Pickens. And then, not to mention, Pickens isn't even their number 2 receiver. That'd be Jake Ferguson, who had more targets and as many catches as CeeDee Lamb, not as many yards. So you got 3 valuable guys to catch there, and then Turpin's catching touchdowns. It opens up lanes for him. So that's why he's going to be successful. And I was not a fan of Blue going into the season, so I wasn't even worried about him. That's where a lot of people were worried about Williams. And as I said prior, he is a year. He played through way too much of that terrible just knee destruction injury, and he said himself that he finally feels the speed. And he didn't say that last year. He said, "I feel I can play." This year, he really came out and he was like, "Hey, I'm feeling what I was before, and this could be his. This could be his Dobbins year, his Dobbins breakout kind of year after just terrible knee stuff." And so far, so good. I'm on the Faux Real again.
Yeah,
Faux
like I
Real.
said, it
I
surprised
loved
me. I
him
mean,
before,
like
so I'm loving it even more.
he's
Right now.
clearly the number 1 option. I mean, Miles Sanders gets a carry here and there, but they're obviously not fantasized about Miles Sanders. Jaden Blue can't even get on the field a whole lot. So yeah, so for the moment, I'd be all right with sticking him in as a top 12 option at this point. So let's go to the Rams. Speak on Kyron Williams. Obviously, I was wrong when I said they were going to try to protect Matt Stafford. It's obviously Matt Stafford is just a passing quarterback, and he's just going to do whatever Matt Stafford does, which is sure. I mean, if that's what works for them, fine. Kyron Williams, he's getting all the carries that you want. It's just been super inefficient. It's pretty much the exact same game 2 weeks in a row. Last week he was RB 15 again, only because last week's RBs were not really good. I mean, 66 yards and a touchdown last week, a little over 3.5 yards per carry. And then this week, pretty much the same thing without the touchdown, and he was RB 25. We both liked Kyron Williams. We both thought he was going to be a top 12 option going into the year. If this is the kind of efficiency we're going to get, is Kyron Williams not a top 12 running back? Is that for real or faux real? Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was against the Titans, right? The Titans. Last week, you could say the Texans last week, 66 yards.
Yeah.
They have usually a pretty good defense. This was the Titans, who I think they're better than we think they are. They're probably a decent 0-2 team. They're a young team. They're learning. They're growing. But the inefficiency, it's almost like I'm watching Najee Harris play. He's just sort of going ahead, getting enough, going ahead, getting enough. And what we said before, though, is I was on the Matt Stafford. I was one of the people saying Matt Stafford's going to be a gunslinger. Like, this is his last hurrah. That's why I had them picked as my Super Bowl pick. And all he did was sling the ball to Adams, 13 targets. Sling the ball to Nakua, 9 targets for 8 receptions. And then Nakua is their best running back. You got it. The run was beautiful. Like, him just 45-yard run. I'm like, wait, because I haven't gotten used to that new number. I was like, who is 12? Wait. He gave 17 to Adams, so he's 12 going down. I mean, Blake Corum got the touchdown, so that's just dumb luck. So that means there's touchdowns to have for Kyron. That I'm not too worried about the touchdown department, but the 66 yards, I would rather that be closer. I mean, generally you want it closer to 80 for the consistency of a running back. Like that. That's if you look at most guys. That's about the average of a good running back.
You would like to see at least 4 yards.
You don't want 66.
I mean, once you dip into the 3-yard per carry mark, even at 3.9. It just looks ugly. The world of difference when you see 3.9 and 4 is, I know it's not a lot. Obviously, it's like 1 yard, 0.1, it's just like 1 yard, 0.1 yard. But you're like, that 3.9 just looks so ugly. And then that 4 just looks so much better. So, I mean, he's going to have, in order for this to work, he's going to have to get that, over that 4 mark. And he's going to look, and he might have to rely on touchdowns. I mean, if he's going to be, at that 3.9 mark, he's going to have to get a lot of touchdowns to get to that point. And from the looks of it early in the season, I just don't know that's going to be there. So I'm right there with you. I'm not really sure he can be a top 12 option at that point.
But maybe it happens because the teams probably were like, yeah, Adams is good. But now that you're seeing them both ball out, maybe it opens lanes, and that's all we can hope for. Like, so for now, outside top, it's another for real. Like, as of now, it killed me because I was so excited. I had a league where he fell to me. It was like the third round. I'm like, oh, I was all giddy, and I got him. Now I'm like,
All
you
right.
morons. That's
Switching
why
to
you
wide
gave it to me.
receivers, I got a young
That
rookie
sucks.
here. There was actually there's I mean there are people that like this guy. I mean, if you listen to people, I mean a lot of people have liked this guy. They thought he was
I haven't.
he had potential, and that's I'm going to say that Alec Ayo Manure
I
Ayo
like
Manure. I don't know how to say it, but I think it's close enough. Um, like last week, wasn't great.
Ayo Manor. Ayo Manor.
First game as a rookie. Got a rookie quarterback, so I mean it's a filling out process. This week a little better. Got like what was it 6 catches? I think it was 4 receptions for like 58
6 targets,
yards. Then
4
he got that
receptions,
touchdown. Um,
56 yards
so
in the
my
tutty.
question, I'm not saying he's an option at the moment. That's not what I'm saying. I think, I think Cam Ward's going to be a really
Yeah.
good quarterback. I mean, I like the way he plays. I think the upside is there. Can I'll just use his first name. Can Alec? I mean, is it going to come to a point maybe by the end of the season where this guy could eventually be a flex option, or is this just something we're just going to have to wait until next year? Is he a guy that you're just going to leave on your taxi squad?
This, yeah, he's staying on my taxi squad. I have him. You always want to see if there's somebody that's going to grow with that quarterback. Sometimes on some teams, like with Burrow, the receiver came before, then the receiver came after, so he was built in. Cam Ward might have this guy that came in, and he likes Ao Manor. Hopefully, I said it right. And he's the young hotness there on the team. Even though I believe he was drafted after Shamir DK, unless he's like, I don't know. But they drafted him. He's more of a punt returner for them. He's that speed guy. He's their Devonta Smith. So if any of these two receivers are going to do it, it's going to be him. He's getting the targets. He's got 7 and 6 targets. Last week just wasn't efficient. I don't want him this year, partially because of him, partially because Cam Ward, this is his learning year. Cam Ward, you see something there that I think he's going to be decent. But I also don't want Cam. I don't want Cam Ward on my team this year. I fell into him in our rookie draft, and he's stashed back there. I'm hoping to never have to play him this year is my goal. But I like him if you're a dynasty player and he's on waivers, add him to your squad. Unless like dynasty squads should be deep. Some dynasty leagues don't keep them deep. I think a dynasty there should be waivers should be almost not. If you're doing dynasty, everybody waivers should be almost useless.
Yeah,
That's why I had to trade away Justin Jefferson because the waivers
that
are
way
useless.
you kind of want to open up.
There's
You want
nothing to pick up.
your dynasty league to be revolved around trades, not the waiver wire. I mean, that's want it to be opposite of
Mhm.
redraft. Redraft
Yeah,
is based
that's
on the
redraft.
waiver wire. You don't see a lot of trades when it comes to
Mhm.
redraft. That's just, I mean, some leagues are a little more active in trading as far as that goes, sure, but the waiver wire, there's always somebody in the waiver wire that you can usually try to pick up. And then dynasty should be the opposite, where it should just be all based around trades, and there shouldn't be really anybody you're picking up on waivers that you would be able to start in a week. Maybe somebody you pick up just as a stash. But yeah, I think Alec Manu, he's someone you just leave on your
Yeah.
taxi squad. But if he busts out, you never know. You need some help, injuries. I mean, you slide him in there, might get 10, 13 points, but better than what some people give you these days, right? Yeah,
Derrick Henry, Evan
yeah, or
Ingram, Mark
maybe,
Andrews. He had more points than all
maybe
those
this
people.
next guy that
Brees Hall.
held out in the beginning of the season, wanted all this money, and then he comes in and lays pretty much two stinkers. I mean, this week was a little better, and that's Terry McLaurin. I mean, you give this guy all this money, you expect I don't care if he held out or not. If you paying him this much, you expect more than this. I don't really care. There is no grace period here. You've been in the league long enough. You got rewarded for the season that you had last year. So there's no excuses why you shouldn't be producing. So Terry McLaurin, a bust as far as wide receiver goes. Is that for real or faux real?
We're going to disagree. I think it's faux real, but not because I think Terry McLaurin's going to do what he did last year. I think the Manders paid too much. You don't pay a guy this old that much money for 3 years to go in there. Like he's not Justin Jefferson. I would have let him walk. I would have had no problem with that. He's been your consistent kind of guy. You've got Debo. Debo had the same amount of he had one last target, basically the same amount of yards, and he's your gadget guy going in there. Zach Ertz is generally, Jaden Daniels loves some Zach Ertz. You got some young receivers there. You got a kid on the practice squad that could fit right in and play Terry's role. The kid out of Louisville, I just brain farted on his name, but they kept him on the taxi squad. I mean, not taxi, the practice squad that could fit into McLaurin's, and he's $30 million cheaper than McLaurin. So, but the thing is, think last week 1, that was him trying to get into game shape. Week 2, it's the Green Bay Packers. That's why I can't say it's for real that he's a flop yet, because I do believe the Packers are a team that's going to shatter people. Next week, he plays the Raiders. So he could have a coming out party. Jaden Daniels is going to be ticked off because Jaden Daniels looked like poo on the stat line. Like, he still looked like Jaden Daniels. Like, okay, cool. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he looked good on the stat line. It didn't look pretty in the grand scheme because it was more garbage time stuff anyway. So some people are going to be a little worried. So if you're in redraft and you find some doofus who's like, oh, Jaden Daniels wasn't that great,
so let's
ball out for it.
Redraft.
But Jaden Daniels
going
is a
into
stud.
next week, say you drafted Jaden Daniels really, really high, right? You know, your top quarterback, and you picked up Daniel Jones, you know, really, really late in the draft. Are you going to stick with? Are you sticking with Daniels, or are you going with the hot hand?
Let me pull up here. Daniels plays the Raiders. So I'm going to go right there and say Daniels plays the Raiders. So yes, Jaden Daniels is still within that top 5. I mean, I think Daniel Jones is going to. Jaden Daniels still he's in that top 5. He's one of those guys I would have above Daniel Jones because to me, they are similar in that their floors are probably in the same place, but their ceilings are going to be based upon how much they run each week. I mean, Daniel Jones plays the Titans. So they both could have comparable stats.
One here. I got 2 more guys. Jones, additional one since you mentioned them already. Zach Ertz. You said Jaden Daniels really, really likes him. He's been pretty impressive. I mean, he's 34 years old, really old tight end, but he's still producing. Mm-hmm. There's always been some injury questions with Zach Ertz. So Zach Ertz, a top tight end option? Is that for real? In the landscape of things, or do you think this is going to fall off?
Oh, landscape of things, yes. He's top 12. Jaden Daniels has always liked Zach Ertz. I thought Ben Sinnott would get something. So I think, to be honest, I'd keep an eye on Ben Sinnott for next year. Like Jaden Daniels is going to have a tight end. He likes Zach Ertz. Yes, he likes him, but maybe Zach Ertz is going to teach Ben Sinnott. But Zach Ertz, Jaden Daniels has always gotten him. He had 5 targets, 8 targets. This week he just stepped up the game. And he's got 2 touchdowns, so I'm guessing, I don't have all the rankings, but he's probably a top 7 tight end in the league this year is going to be my guess at this moment. So yeah, I believe that Zach Ertz is totally fine as a tight end 1.
I agree. I mean, like you said, landscape of things, it's not going to be all that hard, and he does look like a top option. So yeah, I agree with you there. Well, I'm hoping. The last guy. He's been one of our favorites over the years. He's been a guy that kind of disappears. Well, he does that kind of disappears, but he does disappear. He disappeared for a few years. That's Juwan Johnson in the Saints. Now, obviously, you don't know how much you can trust the Saints with Spencer Rattler. Obviously, Spencer Rattler had a good game today. Spencer Rattler seems to like targeting, this big athletic guy. 11 targets last week, 9 targets this week. He did have the yards this week, but he did get the touchdown. Is this the year that Juwan Johnson, is the guy as far as tight end goes? Is that for real or for real?
Spencer Rattler has been. I was trying to get it up. I forgot to have it up as everything was going bonkers on my computer. He's been targeting Juwan Johnson whenever he could. So you mentioned the targets there. Juwan Johnson was the other guy that I was targeting on all my waivers this week because you can't argue with targets. Like targets are where you go, and if he's getting this many targets, they're going to turn into something. And then last year, the last 2 games of last year, he had 10 targets and 7 targets. And I believe those were Rattler games to close out the year last year. So Rattler has really honed in on this guy. And he was the guy I was trying to pick up wherever. Like I dropped a bunch of fab. I have a league where we use way too much fab, so it doesn't balance out. Like they give us 1,000 fab, so I just pay high to get guys. And he's my Kittle replacement. So with those many targets, he's bound to get something. I mean, Rattler he only threw for 200 yards. So He had 6.1 per pass, 6.1 yards per pass. So it's nothing spectacular. I mean, he's still getting replaced next year, just not by Tyler Shaw because he's the only guy worse. I mean, Juwan Johnson, all the receivers had 50 yards. The top three had 10 targets for Olave, 54 yards on 6 receptions. Shaheed had 5 targets, 4 for 5 targets, 4 receptions, 52 yards, and Juwan Johnson had 9 with 5 for 49. So unless they take they put the big boy pants on Spencer Rattler, they're all going to average about 6.1 per carry. Like they both had 9, 9, 13. So he's a guy. Like I think I would rather have him. Him and Ertz will be close. It would depend upon my build or those two guys for me would be right there with me. I would probably start Johnson just to go with the targets, whereas Ertz, you're a couple less targets and you're banking on the touchdowns thus far. So I like Johnson a lot this year. I've always been a Johnson fan. You remember that? Remember the old promos I had with Johnson years ago when he came into the league? But yeah, then he got hurt all the time.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that was for real or faux real. I transition to something else next week since it's week 3. Got a little more stability. We'll switch to a little something different. Might come back to this later in the year, maybe the halfway point. Like like a judgment time for the season. We'll see how it goes.
Sweet.
Sure, fire waste of a touchdown.
So I mentioned that we have a new sponsor. Our new sponsor is Dubby, an energy drink called Dubby. So get energized with our new sponsor, Dubby. You can go to www.dubby.gg.com. Use the code Couriers for 10% off. Dubby is a cleaner, 0 sugar calorie drink. There's also none of the fancy words that we don't know, like maltodextrin, fillers, or artificial colors. It's just a good energy drink that is cleaner than a lot of the crazy stuff. But I mean, no energy drinks. It's a great energy drink for you to put into your body. If you join now, we are going to give anybody this amazing start set coin and a spot on the Couriers and some stickers I will send you. So the first person to join w.gg.com, use the code Couriers for 10% off, and pop me a quick screenshot saying that you got something. We will give you a spot. I'll send you all that little bit of stuff to put in your bottles. Nothing fancy, but also you get a cool drink. I should have some coming in the mail in the next couple of weeks to sample and tell you how it goes. But they are the official sponsor of Surefire Waste of a Touchdown.
Yeah, I need all that. I need all that I can get with all these fantasy teams I got.
Yeah, I'm looking at your eyes. You look tired. I was thinking earlier, a little funny side note. I was like, if you look at our original Couriers pictures, you look like me and I look like you. Like the hair's all the way down at me. Your hair's all up high. It's just kind of funny. Our hairs went different ways as we've gotten older. So here we go. 21-yard pass from Sam Darnold. We know JSN is the man. Nope. But those of us who are in Dynasty, we know this guy, and everybody else get to know this guy because I think he's going to be a baller. Torrey Horton, 21-yard touchdown by Sam Darnold. From the Dynasty world. For everybody else in redraft, they don't know who he is. So that would definitely make it a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Absolutely. I mean, we highlighted this guy in one of our early shows in the season. I think he has a chance to be a reliable number 2 option there behind Jason.
8-yard pass by Jared Goff to oh wait, is that Laporta? Nope. Brock Wright doing it again to us. That's definitely a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, another Brock Wright sighting. We might not see it again for the rest of the year, so enjoy it.
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah, there's a good chance we might see it.
No, he'll pop up a couple more times. There's a guarantee of that. So we got a 10-yard touchdown pass from Dak Prescott. We know that's going to go to CeeDee Lamb. Nope. We know that it's going to go to our boy Pickens. Nope. How about Kevontae Turbin? That makes that a.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, this is it's one of those guys that he's always in the game for kick returns, and then he gets a random touchdown, but definitely belongs on here.
Okay, let's go to your boys. This is a twofer. This is a twofer for you. Are you ready for a twofer? We're going to San Francisco. We have an 11-yard pass from Brock Purdy to Brandon Ayuk to George Kittle. Nope. Those people aren't playing. Mac Jones, baby, to Luke Farrell. That's a twofer. What is it?
That's surefire waste of touchdown. That's what that is. And I was saying earlier before we came on, I was like, I completely forgot Mac Jones was even,
Playing football.
playing football. I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. It's like, I guess Kyle Shanahan finally got his guy, right?
Oh, no, I was going to say, everybody write down the name Mac Jones, Dynasty guys. Next year, meet Sam Darnold. His name is Mac Jones. I was going to say earlier, is Daniel Jones Sam Darnold this year? And maybe
Very
Minnesota.
possible.
We have a 3-yard pass from the stud Spencer Rattler going to his top 3 receivers. Olave, nope. Shaheed, nope. Juwan Johnson, not a chance. It goes to the newest receiver for them, Davon Vele, the former Denver Bronco. He's about 85 years old because he went on a Mormon mission a couple years ago. But that would definitely make it a
surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, I think that's one of those guys that you might have like a random spot here and there, like 2 or 3 times a year. So we'll see how it is.
Okay, we have an 8-yard pass from Drake May. Booty. Nope. Diggs. Nope. Matt Collins. He shows up on here at least once a year. That's definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I will say Drake May looks looking good today.
But it's the Dolphins.
Doesn't matter. Take it where you can, man. Take it where
Hey, you won't let me get away with it with Daniel Jones. So
hold on. Slow down.
last week, Daniel Jones.
Slow down. There's a big difference between Drake May and Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones has a lot more fantasy points, and he played against the Denver Broncos.
I understand. Daniel Jones has also been a turd his whole career, and Drake May is played in 4 games. So
here's another twofer. Here's a twofer. We have a 5-yard pass from Justin Fields to Mason Taylor. No. Oh, Tyrod Taylor's playing because Justin Fields is that terrible right now. His tight line wasn't much better. Tyrod Taylor to Jeremy Ruckert. 5-yard pass. That's a twofer.
yeah, surefire waste of a touchdown. I kind of like Jeremy Ruckert at one point coming out of college, and the way that things are going right now, I mean, I'm in the league where I might have to start Tyrod Taylor next week. They decide to bench Justin Fields, so good thing I got him as a backup.
Lamar Jackson's going to roll with us for a while. We have 3 wasted touchdowns on this dude. So we're thinking our touchdowns are going to go to, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry. Mark Andrews dropped one in the end zone, but there were like 3 guys on him, but that's what he does. No. So we're going to go with 3 for here just to save some time because we've went over a while. Tylan Wallace had a 15-yard touchdown pass, and Devontae Walker had a 2-yard pass and a 24-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. That's 3 for the Ravens to put up some points. 3.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Is the Walker kid the kid from North Carolina?
I forget the school. Those are both. I think those are both the guys they drafted last year, if I'm correct. I can tell you in 2 seconds, but let's close out with my favorite player in the NFL, Bo Nix. Had a pretty good week. He had a good bounce back week. But yes, he's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. Yes.
Yes, I thought.
So Bo Nix throwing the touchdowns. Had a pretty good week, but he was playing the Colts. Whatever, the best team in the NFL, and he lost because he was throwing 2-yard passes to Evan. No, not Evan Ingram. Cortland. Oh, he laid a turd too. Your boy. You know who it is? Adam Troutman. 2-yard touchdown pass. That's still doesn't matter how much you like him. It's still a
surefire waste of a touchdown, but I still love him.
So those are my surefire waste of a touchdowns. As we wrap up here, just a heads up, I want to close out with this for everybody. We do a mashup of whatever happened on the Sunday day games. If you want to hear more about the wrap up of the week and look for some waiver wires, check me out with Gridiron Goddess and Cameron Bassett on Fantasy Turf War every Tuesday at 9 p.m. You can pop on there. Links are in the things. Just look up Fantasy Turf War on YouTube. You can pop up on there on Facebook, or if you're on X, or if you're on Rumble. You can even ask questions. A couple people popped on ask questions. We'll pop it up there. If any of you pop up and say, "What's up, DJ Dove?" I'll probably click it because I have the power to push that little plus button to get us up on the screen. And we're actually doing fairly well. Surprisingly, he was showing like how it was doing before and then how it was doing this year. I'm like, yeah, dog. So we're killing it. Tuesday nights, 9 Eastern. So give us some wisdom, bro.
Where's the wisdom? Okay, second week of the season, obviously. Now, we don't want to overreact too much, but it is 2 games, so there is a sample size there. Don't be afraid to make tough decisions. I mean, of course, this fantasy is a game. We're here to have fun. You you want to take it seriously, but I mean, at some point you want to take risks. I mean, kind of like we mentioned earlier, do we start a Daniel Jones over Jaden Daniels? It might be crazy to do so, but you know what? It might work out in your favor. It might work out. Do you kind of bench a Brees Hall because you're scared of? I'd probably not bench him, not with Brees,
because
but
because I'm scared of playing those really crappy running backs I have.
yeah. But so like I said, I mean, don't be afraid to tinker with your lineup. I mean, you don't want to go. You can't. It's hard to just set it and forget it. Um, just don't go. Just don't go overboard. Make like completely stupid decisions. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.